Guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are new around here, then hi, my name is Vicky and I am a first-time mum to a 1-year-old. So in today's video I'm going to be talking breastfeeding must-haves. So if you haven't already seen, I did like a whole breastfeeding journey video from basically like start to finish. So I have finished our journey now, or we have finished our journey now. So if you are interested to kind of see how it went, then I will link that down in the description and in a card. It's safe to say we went through quite a lot, and I don't think a lot of the things that we went through are particularly reflective of this video. I think this is kind of like an almost bog standard what you need if you plan on breastfeeding. So if you are pregnant and planning on breastfeeding or want to try it, or you're maybe in your early days and you're just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, like I hadn't planned on maybe doing it, and then you change your mind, like wherever you're at, like I'm here for you, hopefully. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. So as with all of these videos, I'm doing quite a few of these like kind of must-have videos, like parenting must-haves if you like. Like with all of the rest of them, this video isn't me saying, oh my god, you need to rush out and buy every single thing on this list. This is just things that I've personally found to be really useful in our journey, and that maybe have made my life easier. So I'd be really interested to know if any of you guys have any kind of other things that you found to be kind of like must-haves when it comes to breastfeeding. Comment down below because I'd be really interested to know. So the first thing, I have got a list as usual. The first thing, I've added a post-it note because I didn't want to forget to say this, but basically the main kind of 4 things you need, other than a pair of boobs, or just one, is a support network, whether that be one on social media or like an in-person kind of support network, like a group, or even just like some friends and family that are really supportive of you breastfeeding. Patience, oh my god, patience, strength and determination. So like I say, we went through quite a lot in our journey, like right at the start. So I would say if breastfeeding is something that you want to do, like you really need the determination to do it, because although I'd love to say like, oh, you know, it's the most natural thing in the world, it's so easy, like blah 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 blah, it's not. I mean, fair enough, when it's established and you kind of get into the swing of things, it does seem that way, but at the start it can be really, really daunting, especially if you're a first time breastfeeding mum, and it's a lot. So I feel like you need that determination and that support network to kind of see you through the journey, along with, like I say, patience, because those first few weeks, they're hard with a newborn regardless, but a breastfeeding newborn, oh my god. Whew. So onto the like physical things that I have to show you. First 2 things kind of go together, and they are comfy bras and reusable breast pads. So I have a few here to show you. Excuse my hair, by the way, it really needs a wash, but long life. So basically I got 2 different types. I got kind of normal nursing bras. This is literally a pack of 3 I got off Amazon. There's a nude one, a pink one and a black one. I think they were like £15 or something. Saw them recommended on a group and I just got them. They are good. They come with, like, I think they came with pads that you could either have in or out. I just had them out for ease. But yeah, they were fairly cheap, pretty, you know, standard. They did the job. And then the ones that I kind of preferred the most, that I think quite a lot of people actually use, I still wear them now, I'm wearing one right now actually, and they are these ones from Primark. They're like little sports bras. I think they either come again in a pack of 2 or 3 for like £10, and they are just amazing because they're really soft. Again, they have the removable padding. Again, I just left it out the whole time, and you could kind of just like move it up and down as you pleased. And they're just super comfy because there's no wiring, no clips, no nothing. So yeah, love those. along with reusable breast pads. So I did use, I think, a few pairs of disposables, but I just found these to be, one, more comfy, and two, more absorbent, and I felt like I could almost justify changing them like more often, because I was like, I'm just gonna chuck them in the wash like every time I felt like they needed it. Whereas I don't know, there was something in the back of my head when I was using reusable disposables that I was just like, oh, more waste, oh, more waste. And like I say, I personally found them to be quite uncomfortable. But again, I got two different types of reusables. I initially bought these ones. I don't know what they're made of. I want to say some kind of cotton. These are a little bit thinner, and they have those like funny non-slip things on the back, so they don't like move around in your bra. Super, super handy. And then the second lot I got I think about 8 pairs of these ones. And these are, I believe, bamboo, because I find bamboo to be the softest kind of material when it like air dries. So yeah, got those. Love those, and I highly recommend them to literally like any of my breastfeeding mum friends. Again, the next two things kind of go together, and again, this isn't to say that it's something that you have to do, and it's not something that you have to do to start a like milk stash as such, but having some kind of milk collection device, whether it is like a hacker, I mean this is just the Aldi version, or like the collection shells, I find that to be really helpful. The collection shells, if you find that you have quite a lot of milk, like when you have a letdown and like the other side's just like freaking going for it, like they're really handy because they have like no suction or anything. Whereas like something like this that has a little bit of suction, it kind of just, it relieves the other side while you're feeding on one side, if you know what I mean. And obviously you can collect it over time. One thing to say though, if you are planning on doing that, obviously this only collects like the kind of thinner milk, if you like, so it doesn't actively work as a breast pump. But I used this in the early days more as a relief kind of thing, like on the alternative side to what I was feeding on, and then I stopped using it for a little while because it kind of, like this one itself, kind of got in the way when I was feeding. Like my daughter kept kicking it off and stuff, and I was like, it's just more hassle than it's worth. I was crying over spilt milk a lot. So yeah, I ended up using this on the other side to which I was pumping on in the end, and I just added that into what I'd collected from my electric pump. So yeah, they're really handy, really versatile. Like I say, I just got this one from Aldi when they did their baby event one time. I think it was like $5.99 or something like that, but you can get so many different versions of that. And to kind of go along with that, some kind of collection bottles or milk storage bags. The milk storage bags obviously come ready sterilised, so you don't need to worry about anything like that. I just had these, they were kind of part of a breast pump that I'd loaned, so I had these on hand. Did find they were really useful because you could kind of see how much you were getting over time, because I would store these in the fridge for a few days before I would then pop it into the freezer if that's what I was going to do with it, or just feed it to my daughter. So yeah, I just found that you could see a little bit more accurately on these than the bags how much there was. So the next thing is actually quite a few of these things I think I put in my like newborn must-have. So if you haven't again already seen that, I'll leave it linked down below. But the first of which is a water bottle. So a water bottle with a straw. Highly recommend, whether you're mum or dad, but especially if you're breastfeeding, because you need to keep your fluid levels up and keep your strength up in general. So water bottle and snacks on hand at all times. Water bottle with a straw though, so you can kind of like sit upright and be drinking it. And always refill it before you go to bed, because especially in those early days, like the cluster feeding days, like you will get so thirsty. So always fill up your bottle before bed. So the next thing is a pillow or cushion of some sort. So I'm not saying you need to go and get a specific breastfeeding pillow, like any pillow or cushion will do. I used in the bedroom my pregnancy pillow. I literally just kind of put the V around me like that and it worked absolutely fine. And then when I was out in the living room or kind of anywhere else, I would literally just use a normal like sofa cushion, and I found that was more than sufficient. I didn't need like a specific one that went round me. I mean, some people might find it benefits them, but I didn't feel like I was missing anything by just using one of those other two things. I didn't feel like I needed to go out and buy a specific like breastfeeding pillow as such. So then the last two things are kind of electronics. The first of which again was in my newborn must-haves, and it is some kind of like night light or dim bulb for your bedside light, because I just found having just this little glow when I was feeding my daughter. One, it was nice on my eyes. Two, it didn't like well, obviously she was awake, but it didn't like make her think it was daytime. And three, it didn't wake my husband up either. So I found that to be really, really useful. I have found another one on Amazon that I've seen someone else share recently, and that looks really, really good, and it's a lot smaller version than that. It's probably about yay big. And it has like a little docking station to charge it, and then you can like physically like up and move it around, which I thought was really cool. So I'll link that down below. And then the last thing is headphones, specifically wireless headphones. I found these so useful, again, to not wake my husband up, but to keep myself awake, because you don't want to be staring at your phone the whole time, but you equally need something keeping you awake. When it's like friggin' 2:30 in the morning and you're on the 50th feed that night, you just need something to keep your eyes open that is not matchsticks, because it's painful. Let me tell you, there's been multiple occasions where I have literally just been going like this and trying so hard to stay awake. But yeah, having wireless headphones just honestly saved me, and still does even now. So initially I just used these when I did like night feeds and things like that, like I say, not to wake my husband but to keep myself awake. And then when we were doing kind of like not sleep training, but like trying to help her self-settle and trying to get her sleep pattern better, I used these because it was like my way of escaping while I was trying to settle her. So wireless headphones, if you're a parent, highly recommend. And the amount of times you go on pram walks and you're just like, I'm so bored of basically my own company. Wireless headphones, thank me later. So yeah, that concludes my like breastfeeding must-haves video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you have, and like I say, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to be doing a few more videos like this in the near future. I have already done a newborn must-haves and a postpartum must-have, so if you are expecting, then I highly recommend that you check those out. I'll leave them linked down below, and they've probably been in cards at some point during this video. But yeah, if you have anything else that you found to be useful in your breastfeeding journey, I'd really like you to comment down below, because I'm just really interested to know what other people found to be helpful. I know like what one person deems a must-have may not be to the next person. That's why I've tried to keep this quite generic almost. Like, I know a lot of people would probably say like a nipple cream or something like that, but I personally didn't use one, so it wasn't a must-have to me. But yeah, I hope I've covered all bases anyway, and like I say, I hope you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys.